how, in fact, the recovery plan and the European Green Deal looks at reforestation activities. Yes, thank you very much for that. Now, in May, the Commission adopted its new biodiversity strategy. And one of the objectives there was the fight against deforestation. And this included the planting of 3 billion trees in the EU. Obviously, we have different funds. And obviously, this will be done in conjunction with member states. We have funding set out for biodiversity. Now, when it comes to the specific question as to cost, there we haven't carried out the calculations, but €1,000 for a tree seems fairly steep. What we'll do is we'll look into the calculations and we'll come back to you on that. Thank you, David. Could you perhaps send us more specific information about that announcement? That would help us to better reply to your question. Then there was the Italian suggestion about aviation. This was labour law that was going to be applied to that. And Stefan, I think, said that it was a proposed measure, but it hasn't been adopted. No? So what I'll do is I'll hand the floor over to you. I think you wanted to tell us where we stand when it comes to aviation.
Hi, David. No, salut, David. Oui, je ne peux pas.
I can't add much. We're still studying this issue. It's something that links in to labour law in the field of transport. We are checking that, and we're going to come back to you as soon as possible.
Voilà.
Thank you. That's one thing. And then when it comes to the holiday voucher and the fact that it can't be used for internet-based platforms, that's for Sonia. I think we'll get Sonia to answer that question.
Bonjour, David.
Thank you for your question, David. Now, we are not aware necessarily of what you're referring to. What I can say, however, as you'll be aware, the tourism sector was very much affected by the crisis. The Commission is supporting the Member States in their efforts to support the sector. For that reason, we adopted the tourism and transport package with various measures in order to alleviate the situation in the transport sector and tourism sector. And there's also the issue of vouchers, etc. That's one instrument that member states may use in order to support the industry. However, when these schemes are put into place, they need to apply to all operators across the EU. That means that service providers can be based not just in the member state, for example, Italy in this case, but also in other member states. So, for example, an Italian can use those vouchers in another member state. That should be possible. That's something that's very important to ensure that things are in line with European law. Thank you very much, Sonia.